So, what is significance of the emotional intelligence? It's thus there have been a thrust on developing the EQ level of the administrator. So, various skills are emphasized to develop EQ because of reducing the stress level, understanding one's emotion, ability of non-verbal communication, positive resolution of conflict. Emotionally intelligent administrator can function better, and people will relatively lower IQ, but as a healthy EQ comes out a better administrator. All information to the brain comes through our senses, so information is overwhelmingly stressful or emotional instinct will take over, and our ability to act will be limited to fight or freeze response. Therefore, to have access to the wide range of choices, ability to make good decision, need to be able to bring out emotions into balance, and will memory is also strongly linked to the emotions. By learning to stay connected to the emotional part of your brain, so emotional intelligence is learning to uh, part of your brain and expand your range of choices comes to responding the new events and also factor emotional memories and decision making. So this will help prevent you from continually repeating earlier mistakes. To improve your emotional intelligence and your decision making ability, you need to understand and manage your emotions. This is accomplished by developing skills for controlling, managing, reducing stress, remaining focused and staying connected to yourself and others, and also overwhelmingly stress. And the last three skills are improve the communication, the ability to quickly reduce the stress, the ability to recognize your emotions overwhelmingly, the ability to connect emotionally, the ability to humor and play stay connected, the ability to resolve conflict and with confidence also. So skill for the emotional intelligence is rapidly reduce the stress. Realize when you are stressed, like what stress your body, your stomach or your mind is facing, your breath is facing. Identify your stress response, like stress relieving activities you can do to depressed, why you are depressed. Okay, and discover the stage bursting techniques, like what are the sensory inputs and what are the sensory outputs for that. Emotional self control, gratification and stiffing impulsiveness, underlying the accomplishment. Connect to your emotions. Do you experience feeling that flow, encountering one emotions after another? So your emotions accomplished by physical sensation, and anger, sadness, fear, joy, what are that all, and attention, decision making, and non-verbal communication also is there. Good communicator require more than just verbal skills, ability to manage the stress. What you say is less important than how you say it, or other non-verbal signals also there. Trust yourself, connect yourself, aware your control your body language, non-verbal communications, and trust, excitement, desire for connections, generate fear. If there is no emotional intelligence, that can generate fear, confusion, distress and disinterest. So successfully non-verbal communication depends on your ability to manage stress, recognize your own emotions, understanding signals you are sending, receiving, and focus on the planning what you are going to say, for thinking about like almost certain what are that are, and maintain flow of conversation, and pay attention to nonverbal cues you are sending, receiving, such as final expression. So use humor and play and deal with challenges, like take hardship in stride by allowing you to view your frustration, disappointments, so smooth or differences, what others are expressing, creating the flap. Simultaneously relax and energize yourself. Playful communication, become more creative also, thinking and being allowing you to get creative. And try setting up regular quality plays, and find enjoying activity that loosen you up and help your embrace your playful nature. Practice by playing animal babies and all that. So this is some techniques for the emotional intelligence. Resolving the conflict, like stay focused on the present, choose your arguments, and forgive to others. Okay, so application in the administration of like governance, like how do you apply the emotional intelligence in the governance? From ethical perspective, one can say that all governments is pupil governance and all public service is pupil service. So governance is more than the machinery of public administration and more than impartial cost benefit analysis. So ministerial symposium on the future of public service governance was defined entirely their relationships. So OECD is encompassing the set of relationship between the citizen and the government, that is political party, productive enterprises, special interest group and media. So relationship are the heart of the governance. So public administration mirror the heart of minds of the pupil, and it is like tolerance, empathy, compassion, dedication, trust required to strong level of emotional intelligence also. So it will guide your behavior of the public servant. So that's why productivity and restructuring the accountability and to the ordinary citizen, that means a lot. So social capital, like financing capital, refer to the money the people who are producing goods and services are human capital, and social capital refer to the bond of mutual respect and care among member of the collective. Social capital allow for reducing the transaction cost of economic exchanges. Human capital is invested in people, while social capital is invested in relationship among the people. When public administration invests in social capital, government earns a big returns on the investment. Public administration earn currency in the form of increased trust in the governance. One can think of the money in the relationship bank. As we work with the people over time, deposit are made. We learn when something gives us their words and make commitment towards. So that's why when public administration fail to invest in social capital, they lose the legitimacy at the cynicism and reduce the willingness of citizens and business and interest group to bear the cost of painful reforms also. So economists have compiled 30 years of multivariate statistical analytics where they given like trust in the governance, like Putnam likewise psychologically have compiled 30-year multivariate statistical analysis also. So emotional intelligence, one of the conclude that social capital is nothing more than an abstract name that discipline of economy. Organizing the society is also. Emotion can certainly be harmful to governance, especially the emotions of haters, greed, and vengeance and lust. There have never been any doubt that under certain circumstances, emotion can disrupt reasons also, and reducing the emotions constitute an equally important source of irrational behavior. That's why emotional intelligence versus traditional bureaucracy. We can understand like Weber given the model of the man as machine contribute to the large extent of civil servants. Okay, and leadership also given by the Weber. So how these classical thinkers are correlated with the emotional intelligence? The more perfectly the bureaucracy is dehumanized, the more completely it succeeds in eliminating from official business love, hatred, purely personal, rational and emotional elements also. So Weber model of the human nature assumed that efficiency and effectiveness are harmed if human emotions influence the rational action of the public administration. Emotions are not intelligent. Emotions are proposed to the reason. The purpose of bureaucratic hierarchy, division of labor, classification of position, standards and procedures, and pay grade in the legislative again intrusive and irrational emotions. So that's why to the end the nepotism and promote the equal justice under the law, emotions must be eradicated. So Max Weber is the public administration must be without effective of the enthusiasm. So leading the listening, like a Chinese philosopher, what a king listen with the heart, the car is warped 10 years. In order to be good king, one must listen with ears, eyes and heart, giving undivided attention to the people. So quality of the public servant is what? Listen to the whole message, not only the words but music, tone of voice, facial expression, gestures, emotions. Allow the speaker to feel fully valued, deeply respected, able to sustain concentration, focus intentionally, recall the speaker words, emotions, music. Listen to one's own thoughts, emotions as he or she speak carefully. Okay, so bureaucracy make us efficient, sign of weaknesses, like it can make us inefficient, sign of weakness, and interfere with good judgment, distract us, obstruct the slow down reasoning, arbitrary and tyrannical, weaken neutrality, inhibit the flow of objective data, complicate planning and undermine the management. But modern neuroscience on emotions, like emotional intelligence is more effective, more strengthful, more good judgments, motivate us, enhance the speed up reasoning, build the trust connection, activate ethical value, provide the vital information and feedback, and spark creativity, innovation, and enhance leadership. That's why emotions are more rational, because it's give us sociologist and generation of men, and not men as a machine but men as a human capital. So that's why communism demonstrate that bureaucracy is rigid, but they are feeling like they are superior in the organization. So it is they follow the impersonalities in that's in decision making also. So Charles Darwin, survival of the fittest, as Max Weber, given the evolution of the human being. Neuroscientists discovered in the last decade show that rationality and emotions are not separate compartment of the brain. They are cognition, like they have the great relationship between both of them. So how emotional intelligence work in our decision making and in our behavior, that I tried to describe in this session.